in the eyes of the government, in the perspective of the government, right, military special operations forces are much more important and higher level than police tactical units, right? This is the honest truth. Now, when you think about it, why, right? You must understand the answer to that question is because of how police tactical units and military special operations units are structured differently, right? And what are their core mandates? What is the government's purpose and will for them? So, police tactical units, they are just there to maintain internal stability of a nation, maintain order, right? And let's say a police officer makes a mistake, okay? His mistake would at most cause a local crisis. But for military special operations forces, because they are there, as an extension of the political leadership of a nation that sent them, right? In a strategic role. When one of the military special operations forces operator makes a mistake, it can cause a political crisis, right? It can cause a peace treaty to be affected. It can cause an alliance to be affected. It can cause a nation to probably even be invaded, right? So that's why military special operations operators, in the eyes of the government, right, are held in higher regard and much more important than police tactical unit members. And even the investment that is placed into them by the government is much more expensive to train a military special operations forces operator than it is a police tactical unit member, right? So that's why the government treasure the military special operations forces units more than police tactical units, right? This is in line with the hierarchy of tactical units in the eyes of the government, right? So, military special operations operators are also trusted, right, to make sure that the national political will is achieved and is done. That is why they are trusted also with taking actions that require being unconventional. Okay, being unconventional is what makes special operations. So when we look at special operations, this word, the special inside operations refers to being unconventional. And this means that operators must take unconventional actions, such as those that involve doing false flag operations, right? Psychological operations, black operations. And in this umbrella of operations, it requires a lot of flexibility and actions that require being unconventional, right? And that's why the government only trusts military special operations forces operators to do special operations. Now, in relation to police tactical units cannot conduct special operations because police tactical units cannot be unconventional, right? Even police tactical units like high-level police tactical units like SWAT, they must still follow procedures, right? They are not granted the same privilege that military special operations operators are granted. They don't have, the government, simply put, the government does not trust them like how they trust military special operations operators, right? So police tactical units, even SWAT unit members, are still expected to follow procedures down to the core, right? And to do everything by procedure, right? So they cannot do actions that are unconventional. And because they cannot do actions that are unconventional, they cannot qualify as special operations, right? So this is another point, as we can see, obviously, why police tactical units cannot qualify as special operations, right? So calling police tactical units special operations or spec ops is really funny, because it just doesn't make sense, because it's totally inaccurate and they are not qualified for the work, right? And they are not doing the work as well, right? So military special operations operators are given these privileges, right, to do things unconventional, right? And all this is also done for the greater good of national security, right? Because some work are so sensitive that politically it must remain classified, right? Because certain actions require certain flexibility in which civilians would not understand, right? So some sacrifices have to be made, some work has to be done in a way that requires, unconventional means, right? So all this is done to keep national security intact, and for the greater good of the operators nation, right? The greater good of the operators nations, citizens and people and all, right? So at the end of the day, when we look at police tactical unit, they are just a internal security instrument, right? That's what they are there to do, maintain order, that's it, right? So when you look at all their gears, all their weapons, all their equipments, all their vehicles, really there's a limit to how they can use them and how they can deploy them, right? They're just there to maintain order, that's all. But when you look at military special operations forces, they are an instrument of national power, right? So they are way higher level than police tactical units. And the weapons, the equipment and the vehicles that they have a lot of flexibility to really deploy them and to use them, right? So the freedom granted to them is much greater than the freedom granted to police tactical units. And that's one of the main difference between both units, is that the level of trust that the government have in them or has given to them, right? And this broadly applies to most nations around the world that has police tactical units and military special operations units.